Flipping a house, everyone thinks about it, everyone talks about it, it's always on TV. Where can I find these properties? How do I make money with this strategy? Make sure you stay tuned to this episode of Prime Properties TV where we talk about exactly that. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. I'm so glad you could join us. In this episode, we'll be going over flipping a house. If you guys ever watched real estate TV shows such as Flip or Flop, Flipping Out, The Real Estate Pros, you have an idea of how awesome and how much money you can make on a flip. Be warned though, I like to look at these shows kind of like a Food Network show because I was obsessed with it as a child, but it's made to entertain. And please, after watching the show, I'm not Gordon Ramsay, and after watching one of the Flip or Flop shows, you're not Tarek or Christina. So make sure you know what you're doing. Now, most of my viewers are Canadian, and from Southern Ontario in GTA or on the edges of GTA. And what most people don't realize is that most of the reality real estate shows originate from the US. So the Flip and Flop is actually from Southern California. Now, the US real estate market is vastly different from the Canadian one, and I'll give you one example in this episode and why flipping a house may not be as easy in Canada, and it will blow your mind. Did you actually know there are two types of loans? Now, I'm going to get a little bit technical, but the first one is called a recourse loan, and the other one is called, you guessed it, non-recourse loan. But all right, as usual, let me break it down for you into bite-sized bits so you can understand this. Traditionally, a loan is backed by something, or there is some kind of collateral. This is like saying, if you don't pay for it, I can take this asset or whatever. In mortgage loans, it is typically backed by the property, the house, the unit that you buy. So the bank technically actually owns it until you pay off the debt in full, hence equity. Now, the first type of loan is a recourse loan. Basically, what this means is the lender, maybe the bank in this circumstance, can take back that collateral, which is a fancy term again for the assets, if you do not pay or default in your mortgages and take the keys back to your house. But here's the kicker. In addition to seizing your current asset, they seize your other assets, or they can garnish your wages so that the lender can get all their money back if your asset does not sell for the outstanding loan. That's a big difference. Now, the second type of loan is a non-recourse loan, and this basically means your lender can seize the asset, the property, the house, the unit, or whatever, like a recourse loan, but here's the key thing. They have no ability to seize your other assets. So if the collateral or the house or property is sold and there's still an outstanding loan, the lender or bank is basically out of luck. Now, that was a lot of technical gibberish if you guys weren't following too much, but how does this affect flipping house and what does it mean and why on earth did I spend so much time on this when I'm talking about flipping houses? Well, here's the crescendo to the episode. In Canada, a recourse mortgage typically is available in all provinces except Alberta and Saskatchewan. So my fellow Ontarians, we have a recourse mortgage, and typically in the US, they have non-recourse mortgages. So a scenario can happen like this. If an American buys a property in the US to flip and it doesn't do very well after the market and the renovations and can no longer carry the mortgage, they can be like, late. I'm done with this property, drop the keys, and walk away. The lender or the bank is left basically trying to sell this property, but probably won't get enough money for the property to cover the money they lent out. Now, this actually happened nationwide in 2008, the financial crisis in US, and the mortgages were worth more than the house, and the homeowners just peaced out and walked away from their debt. Now, if you have a recourse mortgage like we, my fellow Ontarians, have, well, you can't just be like, see ya later, I'm leaving my keys. If you try to do that, the banks come and seize your other assets and make you repay the outstanding balance on the loans. Not to mention, the banks tend to do a crappy job of selling the actual property via power of sale. So even if you're in the red, you're basically going to bleed a little bit more. So if you decide to do a flip and it doesn't sell well on the market to cover all your debts, you could be in some serious trouble with the bank because you don't have enough money from all the loans. So beware of the risk before you ask me to find you a property to flip. Now, having said all of that, if you know exactly what you're doing and understand the risk that comes with the flip, you can make some serious money. So stay tuned to next episode of Prime Properties TV, where I'll be going over the details of how the smart house flipper does and what they do and where the opportunity and money can be made in Southern Ontario market. Thank you all for watching. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the Prime Properties YouTube channel and click on the bell to be notified when I upload more content so you can continue educating yourself in real estate with our other videos. If you have any other questions or comments, make sure you email me or contact me directly or leave them in the comment section below for our team. We'll definitely try our best to get back to you. And remember, make sure you share this to your family and friends because like I always say, an educated consumer is the best consumer. I'll see you next time, Toronto.